Eric here, DefiiOT. Today let's talk a little bit about the crypto crackdowns that are going on in the world and some of the deceptive tactics they're taking in society to get society around them to support them in these crackdowns, these tyrannical governments, in trying to take away from us, which would be the independent free market we know of as cryptocurrencies. We'll jump into this today. Venezuela authorities have launched a crackdown on crypto, the miners, in a bid to protect the South American national power grid. Now, you've noticed, if you've been listening to our videos, I've talked about how in Ecuador, they're cutting the power off every day, at least they were, up to just recently, every day from 4 to 6 to 8 hours a day, during the day, the work day, etc., using the excuse that there just wasn't any power, and that they couldn't buy any power from anybody, right? And so the power was going out. This is not just happening in Ecuador, but this happens in other countries as well. What happens is the power goes out. We have to understand something, that the power company, kind of like PG&E out in California, the power company is really run and controlled by the government. They're independent, but they're controlled by the government. And it's the same that happens now here in California, same idea. They're independent, yes, but they have to do everything the government wants them to do because they are at their existence is only because the government allows them to be there. And now they allow them to be there because of certain arrangements they make with them. It's no different really in some of these states in the United States of America now, especially in these bluer states. Now, understand this, that the power that's going out is not because of massive consumption down in Latin America. It's because the Latin American politicians can sell that power because we have wars going on right now and there's not electricity in certain areas, right? They can sell that power for a higher premium than they can get from selling to their own people. So they cut the power from their own people. They give them excuses why. And the easiest thing to do is blame the Bitcoin miners. Give me a break. There's not that much Bitcoin mining going on in Venezuela. If you notice, Venezuela's always cracked down on Bitcoin mining because Venezuela does not allow a free market economy. That's a communist country. Venezuela is. Like it or don't like it. And the Venezuelan leadership are communists. I'm saying that to you communist leaders. I'll probably get a black mark now from this channel for saying stating the truth. However, let's look at this lie here. Understand something. You know, there's countries down there that the electricity is only 2 cents a kilowatt hour. Yeah, but the government doesn't sell that to the people. They don't use them. And so I know miners that are hooked up to that. You can go and actually hook up to this. They'll bring you into their grid, and you can hook up and use that electricity. There's one country in particular. I'm going to go down there when we finally get down there next month and show you that, who it is and where it's at. You're going to be very surprised. You're going to want to go there because it's not too far away from El Salvador. Now, the idea of the power grid collapsing is another one of the overreaches and the lies that people just buy into because they maintain ignorant. They bury their head in the sand and they think that, you know, whatever they're told in the media, they don't do their own homework. That's the truth. Let's read this. In an Instagram post on Friday, the country's Department of Energy said that it would disconnect all mining operations from the country's national electric system, their grid, okay? Miners are needed to help Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies work as intended. So they're going to disconnect all mining in Venezuela. See where this goes now, even to Ecuador. We'll see what happens there. Such operations are often large warehouses full of computers that have huge amounts of energy to mint new digital coins and keep a crypto network secure. Now let's get real on this. You're absolutely right, but not in Venezuela. In Venezuela, they don't get to have warehouses full of Bitcoin mining equipment. Very seldom, unless it's done and sponsored by the government, right? That just doesn't happen in these communist countries unless it's sponsored by the government. So keep that in mind. They're getting something back for it. And they may even shut a few of these guys down that they've built up. But there's not a whole lot of them in Venezuela to begin with. Just go look at your map and see where all the Bitcoin mining comes from. Venezuela is not a big producer of Bitcoin mining. So that in itself is not true. It's trying to make it look like Bitcoin is the same as, for example, Texas, right? Or China when it comes to this. However, such operations have come under criticism by lawmakers all over the world for amount of energy that mining consumes. No, they don't talk about the SWIFT program that exists today, the banking system that exists today, and how much of the actual energy it's consumed. Just go to Las Vegas. You've got more energy consumption going in Las Vegas than you do with all the Bitcoin mining in the world, for crying out loud. And nobody's talking about all those lights that are on from Vegas. You can see Vegas from the flipping moon, for crying out loud. More lies. Why? Because the agenda is to keep us out of a free market economy. Now, I was reading an article. I'm going to do another take on XRP. XRP is something we should stay way away from, because XRP behind the scenes are the ones that are building all this up, working with these NGOs, these non-government organizations against crypto in the state of Texas and on a global level. XRP is trying to get everybody pushed out, including Bitcoin, mostly Bitcoin, so they can become the new global digital CBDC. That's what XRP wants. I won't support XRP. I dump my XRP, and I will not support them because I support a free market economy. I support the U.S. Constitution and the responsible freedoms that that document supports. I'm red, if you will say that. I'm very red. I'm traditional in that way, in my values, everything. So if you don't like me, goodbye. If you do like this stuff, then go down below and subscribe and get a thumbs up, because I'm going to keep leading people who want to be freedom-loving people down a road where we can maintain our freedom and show you guys the lies. I lived in these countries for 20 years of my life. I know how it works. And here in the United States, it's no different anymore. We're just being spoon-fed an agenda, and it's lies. Machiavelli said, repeat the lies over and over again, and the people begin to believe it. Why? Because we don't go out and do our homework. I'll put this article down below. I know you guys are smart. That's why you're listening to these videos. So a post featuring a video of authorities raiding what looks like a crypto mining operations. Venezuela, which has experienced a devastating economic collapse since 2010. Yeah, it had nothing to do with crypto mining. It had to do with the communist takeovers, right? Has long suffered problems with its electricity grid. Again, because of the siphoning off of the power. They don't put money back in infrastructure. The Communist Party takes it. Although the problem isn't as bad as it was back in 2019, some of the country's rural areas still experience blackouts. Yeah, heaven forbid we allow people to have Bitcoin and mine so they can actually come out of poverty, because you can't have that, because then they could actually maybe run against these communist leaders and maybe might actually beat the system with those same Damian machines that they use there, that they use here in the United States now, because that's where they were invented. We're there, and that's the truth. Maybe it's all because of them and not of Bitcoin. Let's go on. I'm ranting, I know. So, last September, Venezuela police raided a prison where inmates were running secret Bitcoin mining operations. It's a prison. And inmates were running mining operations. How in the fetch they get a Bitcoin? These things are big. You don't just keister that and sneak that in, for crying out loud. Obviously, they knew about it. Obviously, the officials knew about it. And they have to do a raid to make it look like it's not supposed to be there. Somebody got mad at somebody. That's how it works. And earlier in 2023, the country's regulator launched a crackdown on miners. Despite this, the country is still keen on using crypto. Look at this. The state-run oil company reportedly wants to use digital assets, USDT, but that's not crypto. I get that. That's not true crypto. That's centralized. You see where the lies come in here? USDT is not a cryptocurrency. I'm sorry. It is nothing more than a coin, a digital coin that's put out there backed by U.S. treasuries and bonds. That's what it is. They wanted to exchange for its crude oil and fuel exports as a way to get around U.S. oil sanctions, Reuters reported last month. Well, XRP is jumping up for that, right? They want to be that person, but they want to be in line with all the sanctions, right? So as I run down here, this is where Venezuela and other countries are trying to go with this. They're trying to ban the free market crypto mining. However, they're going to allow certain cryptos to exist that benefit them, that are controllable. See, one's centralized, one is decentralized. Bitcoin is decentralized. They're trying to crack down on all of us. So they say it's illegal, you can't do it, so that we have to go with the CBDC. We need to stand up and fight back on these things. We need to take political stances. We need to elect people who actually go and not just speak with rhetoric, but go to offices this November in Congress, in the Senate, and actually make laws that will benefit the people and maintain our free market economy. That's what we need to do this November. And we need to not put our heads in the sand. We need to pay attention. So do me a huge favor. Subscribe to our channel. I'm out there to try to wake up people. I came back from 20 years living in Latin America. I'm the only one podcaster out there that has lived 20 years in Latin America as an American citizen, a true-blooded American, living 20 years out, coming back came back for the purpose to help defend our free market economy and our freedoms, and to tell you and help you understand and warn you of the lies and deceptions that took those countries down, and what the strategy is of all those people coming over here right now, what it's going to do to America and our free market economy. So subscribe, because we are unique in that. There are very few, if any, that have the experience that we have. DefiOT, I'll see you in our next video.